Today I want to try something a little bit different. I've actually already filmed a From the Toy Bin video, and I've already uploaded it, but I'm gonna do this video first. And since I'm doing this video first, I should warn you that that video, the audio is not so great because my camera mic wasn't really working, but I got it working now, so hopefully this video sounds a lot better than that video. But anyway, one thing I've noticed a lot of toy people on YouTube do is they do haul videos where they just show off a whole bunch of stuff that they purchased recently. And I go out to flea markets and thrift stores and comic book shops all the time, so I figured, maybe I'll do some of these every now and then. Not all the time, though, because I don't always get so lucky anymore. Recently I got pretty lucky. But when I go out to flea markets, it's usually hit or miss, or thrift stores are even rarer. But I did recently go to a comic book shop, a local comic book shop that I go to quite often, who were having a sale. And when they have their sales, they have bins and bins of toys, and they have miles of long boxes of comic books, and they put all the stuff out in the parking lot, and they just sell it all super cheap. And every time they do that, I always like to go and dig for treasures and see if I get lucky with anything. And in the past I have, and recently I found a whole bunch of cool stuff, so I thought I'd show it off in a video. And if people like this kind of video, then I'll do more of them. Not all the time, again, because I don't get so lucky. But why don't we go ahead and take a look at some of the stuff I got. So let's start with this that I found in one of the $5 action figure bins. This is interesting, considering it was $5.96 at Walmart originally. This is an accessory set for G.I. Joe Hall of Fame. So if you don't know what the G.I. Joe Hall of Fame line was, in the late 90s, or the early 90s, I think, let me check the back of this thing here, 1993, about that time, G.I. Joe put out a line of toys called the Hall of Fame, and what they were action figures based on the current G.I. Joe at the time, but they were done in as 12-inch figures, so they were basically like the original G.I. Joes, the ones from the 50s, the original toy line. But, of course, they were done with the characters that were part of G.I. Joe. So you got, like, Cobra Commander, Destro, Snake Eyes, Duke, all the favorites, but done in a larger format. And I actually have a bunch of them, and if I can dig them out, maybe I'll do a video on them. But I actually didn't know they sold accessory sets for them. This one is the high-caliber weapons arsenal. So you get all kinds of good stuff in here. You get a machine gun with a kickstand, you get a missile launcher, I guess, a couple of grenades, you get a military shovel. I think those are called e-tools. They're the ones they kind of fold up and then carry around. You get what I think is an AK-47. I actually don't know guns very well, so I could be wrong about that. Someone who knows guns can correct me in the comments if you want. You get some goggles. You get an extra helmet, you get a big old knife, you get some rope, which is basically just twine, and you get a little G.I. Joe dog tag for your guy to wear, and you can dress him up like that. Now, I don't remember if they had, like, generic characters from that toy line. I just remember the ones that were the actual characters from the regular toy line. But, I don't know, these guys, I guess maybe they just redressed them. But yeah, these are some more of the sets you can get. Red Beret Weapons Arsenal, Green Beret Weapons Arsenal, there's the high caliber weapons arsenal, and the Urban SWAT Weapons Arsenal. Really cool. There are other ones, and I actually have another one, and I'll show in a minute. But yeah, this was kind of a neat little find amongst a lot of other cool stuff. But yeah, I always get surprised when I find things this old way back in the ancient times of 1993. But yeah, this was a neat little thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this because I really don't have use for it. So who knows? I'll maybe flip it on eBay. But I also got another one, and it's actually in a lot better condition. As you can see, the bubbles yellowing on this one, which is very common for, aged toys. But I got this one too. This is the Mountain Assault Mission Gear, and interesting that they have like an actual molded bubble for this one, whereas this one had a big normal bubble like you'd see. But I don't really know what dictates that getting that in this one. Maybe it's just maybe they're just different waves. Again, this is from 1993. This one, you get all kinds of stuff for mountain mission. You get some warm clothes, you get another knife, pouch, goggles. I guess that's a grappling hook with more twine. You can tie up bales of hay with that. You get some climbing boots. You get some kind of. Oh no, that's probably to launch the grappling hook. I thought it was some kind of gun, and that looks like climbing shoes, little pointed metal things that dig into rock. And there's the guy right there. Grappling hook launch. Yeah, there you go. Grappling hook launcher. So yeah, this is a neat little set. A lot better condition too. Really nice. Again, I'm probably not going to keep these, but we'll see. And here's some other ones you can get. Jungle Patrol. You can see he's all in jungle fatigues, and he's got a big old gun there. Desert Camo Mission Gear. There you can see he's in the desert camouflage. Red Ninja Mission Gear. So I guess this is the closest we'll ever get to having Jinx as one of the figures. And there's the Mountain Assault Mission Gear. And here's all the characters that you can get. There's Destro. There's 90s Storm Shadow. Back when in the 90s, Storm Shadow was actually one of the Joes. He switched sides. Although most of the time he's been very, very ambiguous as to what side he's on. But yeah, he was like a full-fledged Joe in the 90s, and he got this costume change, which I actually kind of like. I think I prefer just the straight white, ninja gear that he usually has. But I don't know, I kind of like it. Something about it's really cool. You get Gung Ho as he was the captain of the USS Flag, I believe. Maybe I don't remember. Ace. And okay, so I guess they have they did have generic guys too. So they have regular grunts, and there's heavy duty right there. So yeah, these were really surprising finds to see in the bins and bins of action figures. And occasionally I do find really old stuff like that. I actually found a couple of sales back, they actually had a Dick Tracy from the movie Dick Tracy, like carded in very good condition. I also found Steve the Tramp, who was that guy from that one scene in the movie, even though they made an action figure of him. Also, I found one of those WWF figures, the little pint-sized guys. I think I found Jake the Snake, actually. It was really cool. I never really had most of any of those. I had the big Titan rubber figures, but that's a story for another time. So another thing I got is this right here. Oh no, an anime thing on my channel. God. This is a figure of Armitage Polymatrix the Third. I don't really know a whole lot about Armitage. I remember Bennett the Sage reviewed something of hers once. But anime figures, especially ones done by McFarlane Toys, and that's a nasty little crease in there. I actually didn't notice that. But anyway, the McFarlane Toys anime figures were really cool. What year were these? This one's from 1997, but there was a line before it, and I actually have I think the first wave of those in still carded like this. They had the two guys from Akira, Tetsuo and Kaneda. They had Vash the Stampede, and they had Ryoko from Tenchi. and I have all four of those in a bin somewhere. This I think is from I'm guessing that's the second wave, Spawn.com right there. Very nice figures, very well detailed, very well put together. Comes with a lot of tiny accessories, which is one of the reasons she's not going to leave this bubble, at least not while she's still in my possession, because I will lose those. They will be lost forever. So here we have on the back, you can, I guess these were some of the other characters, part of the second wave. You see, is that actually Akira? I think that's the actual character Akira, who appears in the movie once, and I'm not a big fan of Akira, and I have my issues with that movie, but I'm not going to get into that right now. They have one of those clown thugs, one of the gang members there. You can get Kaneda on his bike, which is really cool, and you got Makoto from Ghost in the Shell. I actually think I have that figure too. I probably have it. I think I have an anime bin over in the other room. But here's some of the other ones you can get. There's Armitage the Third, Soul Taker, which I don't know anything about, and there's Tenchi to go with the Ryoko figure. They also have a bunch of other stuff down here. Clive Barker's Tortured Souls. Don't know much about that. Complete original from Clive Barker fiction. I actually don't know much about this right here. They got Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. Really cool figure. Very well detailed, the McFarlane line of toys. And Movie Maniacs. So you got the T-1000, or the T-800. You got the Blair Witch, which was not a character that you saw in that movie. There's the Candyman. Only say his name once. Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. There's the T-1000. You get Jaws, which I think is really cool. I wonder how much that figure costs. This Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface, and you get Ash from Army of Darkness. So, yeah, really nice find for $5. Again, a little crease in the corner, but that's not too bad. Please focus. I should have repositioned the camera. I can't show these properly. Oh, she comes with a stand too. That's really nice. So yeah, again, not a bad find for $5. But here's my favorite thing that I found. I found a Reboot figure. Yeah, Reboot. Oh, I love Reboot. This is the figure of Matrix, aka Adult Enzo, during I think season 2 or 3 when he got lost in the web, and that's a whole thing. If you're not familiar with Reboot, that is too much explanation. Very nice figure. What I found funny about this is inside the comic book shop they had Reboot figures for like full price. So I'm wondering if this was a mistake. It was somehow found its way into the $5 bin. But anyway, it's mine now, so whatever. So he comes with his little hoverboard. I forget if these had a name, but they were like little hovercrafts that they stood on and flew around on. And a tiny glitch. Oh, look how cute that is. That will get immediately lost as soon as this gets open. So I will not be opening this. Very good condition too. Like a lot of the figures they had in the bins that were carted were very banged up, and I'm sure they've been moved around for years, and that's probably why. Some of them, even the blister was like coming off. I even found just cards just strewn about in all the bins they had. But yeah, I always get lucky, or I usually get lucky and find something like this really cool. Here's all the other figures you can get, which I find funny because before I did this video, I just noticed that these aren't even the figures. They are they're models of the characters from the show. Yeah, those are definitely not action figures, but yeah, quite a wide variety. You get Matrix there, Megabyte, Andrea, you got Dot Matrix, you get Glitch Bob. I think that's when he like merges with Glitch or something. It's been a while since I've seen Reboot. There's Web Matrix. That's when he was lost in the web and he had to put on armor in order to survive. There's Web Bob, because oh yeah, they had to go looking for Bob, and they found him, and I guess he like merged with. Bob is like the ultimate power in all of Reboot. He can't be stopped. He can't be killed. They just lose him for a little while, and then that's it. You got Ray Tracer, who's a guy they met. Never been a big fan of his. He was just kind of a tag along character. Web Rider and Captain Capacitor. I loved the little biome characters in there. They were always so funny. No mouse figure? Really? Wow. She might have been part of one of the other sets. Because I know there was more before this, because they had all the standard characters from like Season 1, Season 2. Yeah, really good find. I really like this guy. I have to try and find the rest of the Reboot figures now, don't I? Ugh. Nah, probably not. It's not a priority. Anyway, so that's it for the carded figures. But I also got a couple of loose figures, because in addition to the $5 action figure boxes they had big bins of just random toys for $1 each. So I went through those. I actually never gone through those before, so might have to do that next time they have their sale. But I found two really cool figures, and here's the first one. It's the Max. Yeah, remember the Max? I remember him because I used to watch the show on MTV, and I did not understand it at all. But something about it like really intrigued me, so I always like to watch it. And then I found out later on that it's only based on a portion of the storyline from the comic, and it's you know how adaptations go. But yeah, this is obviously another thing from McFarlane Toys. At least I think it's from McFarlane. Should be from McFarlane Toys. This was part of Dark Horse, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, not really a whole lot to say. The sculpt is really nice. Looks just like him in his weird hunched over proportions and his giant feet and his biceps that are almost as big as his torso and his head that's just jutting forward. Oh God, the 90s. Oh man, it was not a good time for comic books. But I did like the Max. It was a very funny show. And very deep too. I think I definitely appreciate it more as an adult. Not a lot of articulation on this guy. He's got a hips, and he's got his legs, although it really doesn't make sense to move his legs because he's just so disproportioned. Poses arms pretty good, giving everyone the finger. And his head does this, in case you want to make him look like he's a little confused about something. I remember I actually saw the full set of this inside the comic book shop, because he came with a bunch of stuff. He has one of the little characters, little chompy guys that were part of the comic and the cartoon. But on his own, he's a pretty good figure, I guess. He's got these things here. Looks like he had some kind of accessory that went on his head. I'm guessing it's his hair, because in certain parts of again, I'm not going to explain the whole show if you've never seen it. There are parts where he does have long hair, so I'm guessing that's to like attach and detach them at your preference. So there you go. There's the Max. Not really much to say about him other than he looks good. Put him on your shelf. Not too shabby. All right, so let's put him over here and show you the last thing I got at the comic book shop. You guys know I love me some 90s Toy Biz Marvel figures, and there were quite a few of them in those bins, but for financial purposes and for quality purposes, because again, a lot of them were banged up. I didn't get any, but I didn't get any carded, but I did get this one. This is Medusa from the Inhumans. I don't really know a whole lot about the Inhumans, but I saw her in the car, in a carded version of her in one of the bins, and it was unfortunately very banged up, so I passed on it. But I found her in the $1 toy bin, so I figured, what the heck, add her to the ever-growing collection I got. Really nice looking figure as usual. got some good range of motion there too. You got some nice shoulder joints there. Arms and legs move nicely. She's a little bit like off center. If you notice there, she's kind of leaning to her left a little bit, which makes it kind of hard to get her to stand up. I thought for a second that like the legs had been bent, but apparently no. That's just how she stands. That hey Max, help her stand up, please. Here, there you go. Hold on to his middle finger. There you go. And I was fortunate because she came with all of her accessories. And when you assemble all of her accessories, it becomes one of the most bizarre accessory sets I have seen in the 90s Marvel Toy Biz figures. Okay, so here we go. We have this thing, and then we have this thing, which goes on like that. And then she's supposed to stand on it like this. Okay, so the only thing I know about Medusa is that she has prehensile hair. She can control it, she can grab things and smack people around with it. I assume this is supposed to be her, like, riding her hair, I think. But it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because if you notice, this thing in the back here moves around. So you see her, like, doing this. I guess from the front it looks okay, but it's, like, spinning, so wouldn't it get, like, all wound up or something? Also, it's not even, like, attached to her. So it only, like, works from the front when you're not touching it. Which I thought was really... It's just so ridiculous. Look at this. Oh my god. This is one of the strangest figures I've seen in that entire line. So she can put up her finger and be like, onward! Off to fight evil. Oh, it's so silly. Max, what do you think? He's not amused. Oh well, it's another figure to add to the collection. So that's all I got for the stuff I got from the comic book shop. But I decided on the way home, I do have one more thing here to show off. On the way home, I stopped at a thrift store that just happened to be near there to, browse for stuff. And figured I'll show this off too. I found this. This is a Garfield from... Where's the tag? This is a Garfield from... Show the year there. 1981. Wow. This was very rarely do I find old things at the thrift stores. I just think it's hilarious. He's user-friendly, as you can see. And he has a floppy disk. And every time I look at this, I keep thinking it's going to say, I heart floppy disks. Because this thing and that thing, I keep, like... Because that looks like an I, and then immediately my brain is like, it's going to say I heart. But no, that's just how floppy disks work. And apparently they needed to write that on there in case people don't know what a floppy disk is. Although, nowadays, I'd imagine most people don't know what a floppy disk is. But yeah, I just found this really funny, and I got it for like $2, so whatever. Unfortunately, he doesn't stand up well. He's got like no hold on his feet there. There you go. He's probably gonna slowly lean forward and eventually fall off. But yeah, not a bad little find. It's a little dusty, but nothing too bad. I think I could throw him in the wash and he should be okay. I don't really collect plush toys, so I don't know like what the proper way to clean them up is, but I'm sure there's like tutorials online and I can look that up. But yeah, that's my haul video. So if you'd like to see me do more of these, let me know in the comments. And whenever I get a really good toy haul, I'll be more than happy to show it off. So there you go. Wave goodbye, Garfield. Goodbye. Tomorrow's Monday. I hate Mondays. But at least I'm user-friendly.